Anayin ko na sis. Sige. Full screen ka muna. Tapos admit ko na sila. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay ka na sis?
Go na go.
There is abundance in a universe, and we all have the ability to tap into our deepest dreams. You can learn and grow at your own speed, and build a business based on your own needs. Well, I bet you didn't know you could make money from your home and take control of your security. Yeah, I bet you didn't know that you could make it on your own and take good care of your family. Why do we wait until tomorrow when we could do it today? Step out of your comfort zone and take a leap of faith. You can learn and grow at your own speed and build a business based on your own needs. Well, I bet you didn't know you could make money from your home and take control of your security. Yeah, I bet you didn't know that you could make it on your own and take good care of your family. Bedrock bookkeepers rocket from their home. Bedrock bookkeepers make it on their own. Bedrock bookkeepers live it in the zone. Well, I bet you didn't know you could make money from your home and take control of your security. Yeah, I bet you didn't know that you could make it on your own and take good care of your family. Well, I bet you didn't know you could make money from your home and take control of your security. Yeah, I bet you didn't know that you could make it on your own and take good care of your family. Well, I bet you didn't know you could make money from your home and take control of your security. Yeah, I bet you didn't know that you could make it on your own and take good care of your family.
Thank you to Bedra. Challenges. I think mas mahirap yung tax against payroll. Payroll is easier to do than the tax. Mahirap siya pero masaya kapag nakuha mo. Thank you, Bedrock. Thank you, Joe. And thank you to the Bedrock team.
Thank you so much, Joe and the Bedrock team. This is very challenging on my part, but it's part of growth and to learn more, including the bookkeeping job. Thank you so much for the challenges that you gave us. I know that we still have more time to familiarize everything before we get into the real payroll job. Thank you so much.
Congrats sa batch 3 of the Payroll Masterclass. Big thank you to Miss Aileen for always available to answer all our questions and to my fellow batchmates for their constant support and motivations. And to Joe, thank you for all the challenges. Your project may have caused us some headache as always. But you told us it's good to have a headache because we learned from that. But it pushed us to dig deeper, learn more, and to realize our potential. Now I see that your teaching style was all about pushing us to be a resourceful and self-reliant and appreciate it. Thank you, Bedrock.
So thank you so much. This Bedrock experience really taught me a lot that it's not too late to start all over. It's not too late to change career. It's necessary, as what Joe have told me during our one-on-one conversation. You just have to know the why, and then it will motivate you. This is a new milestone for me. If you have that dream inside of you, no one can stop you. And as they say, the only way to success is to focus and believe in yourself. For believing in yourself, you are halfway there. Thank you so much, everyone, and congratulations.
One of the things I've learned is to be resourceful and be confident, even if you don't know, research and ask questions. Thank you for Joe and the Bedrock team for really opening this course to us. It's a great opportunity for us to learn and get like a hands-on experience to do payroll tasks in a US setting.
Sobrang accommodating ng team kasi kapag meron akong questions, very accommodating. So, sobrang na-appreciate ko kasi I've been in some courses na din. Pero kapag may mga questions, parang nagiging active lang sila kapag sa group. Siguro dahil andun yung mga boss, superior. But kapag may mga direct messages ako sa admin, nakakakuha pa rin ako ng prompt response. So, kung gano'n sila ka-prompt mag-response dun sa group, ganun din kapag direct messages. And kay Joe, I've learned so much a lot, hindi lang about dun sa technical course, but as a person, sobrang napaka-motivating young person. What I appreciated about Joe made me realize na pag naging intern ka sa Bedrock or kahit siguro sa ang company, kung if you will work for an experience, yung experience kasi na ibibigay sa'yo is more than just a money. Grabe yung encouragement sa akin ni Joe. So, more than the technical skills na nakuha ko sa course na to, mas na-appreciate ko yung hindi lang si Joe but even Miss Luz and Miss Catherine, Miss Eileen nung nag-share sila about experience nila.
For me, I'm specializing so in the consultation kasi I see to it that service offered ko to cater crypto accounting is addressed, especially during the course and in terms of preparation with ITR and all that. I asked Joe specific questions about it and it was addressed, and I appreciate his knowledge in terms of updates and all that. So I really appreciate the course and Joe and of course the team. So me and my wife are always asking in terms of how we do this, and the specifics about the team are really helpful and giving us guidance on how to do it. So many thanks, guys.
Masasabi ko sa course is napaka-helpful niya, especially yung practice sets. Yan, tapos na-familiarize din ako sa paggawa ng trick sa tax review. Yan, so congratulations sa atin, and looking forward ako sa Jumpstart community natin. Yan, namimiss ko tong class na to, mga classmates natin. Thank you po sa Bedrock, kay Joe, sa Bedrock team, especially din po kay Ma'am Eileen, kay Luz. Okay. Sa lahat po, maraming salamat.
Thank you so much for the teachings. Actually, I enrolled in this course because I plan to target also US market clients. I don't really have clients in the US because I'm not that confident that I know their tax rules. I think this course will help me be confident in handling US clients. I actually enjoyed working on the Drake because it's my first time to experience that one, and also the forms. It's my first time to see all the forms. I like about this course is it helped me to like stay committed in what I promised to do for myself.
With this course, it was the push that I need to be serious and study the whole process of tax preparation. Before, I don't know where to put the wages, the pensions, the retirement distributions. I would like to thank Joe and the team.
Doing this 5-week course is not that easy. So you have that you need to have that accounting background already, because if not, it's like you will be misled. Where are you going? What are these numbers are for? So you really have to have that background already. So if you haven't have that background yet, maybe it's preferable to enroll in the 13-week course. With this, I've learned a lot, and I have a lot of questions with Joe. He remembers me, I know, because of my questions. So one of my takeaways of this, I love this part. It is in the chapter 4. It says, in the end, no amount of tax planning or problem-solving strategies is going to be of use to any entrepreneur if they don't have a solid financial foundation based on good bookkeeping and sound record keeping. So that phrase to me is it's more of a bookkeeper friendly phrase, because you will not have that good tax planning if your book is total mess. So it really starts with good bookkeeping, and then a strategic tax planning. So thank you for this course. For now, I'm still enjoying my bookkeeping work, but who knows, in the future I will have that gut and courage to be a tax preparer.
Magandang araw po sa lahat. Ako si Malalaman, and I'm working as an online accountant and bookkeeper for almost 2 years. I was part of the batch 2 of the 13-week course for accountants and tax preparers. So that was around August last year. And then I have this client which I got from Upwork. The client has a huge problem on her books. So I think of Bedrock. I think of Joe, because I know very well that Joe is really genuine, sincere in helping small business owners in the US. So what I did is I told my client to book a call with Joe so that she can directly communicate with Joe and mention about her business, not only cleaning up her books, but Joe can also help her in organizing her financials. For me, Bedrock Partnership Program, in one word, it's more on learning. Since I am part of the partnership program, so I learn a lot from Joe directly because we are working on the same client. So working with Joe means lots of learnings about US accounting, about US taxation. So it's learning. From August up to now, I continue to learn so many things from Joe because we are working on the same books. So that means that I learn so many practical things from him. So that's actually one of the precious and most valuable thing that I benefit from Bedrock. I can't believe actually that Joe is mentioning to me that, okay, Malona, let us have a call. So I told myself, what? A free call with him? Around 30 minutes, 1 hour, or more than 1 hour. So imagine, saan ka makakita ng US accountant na magbibigay sa'yo ng ganun kahabang oras, tapos ganun ka-valuable yung pinagkukwentuhan nyo, ganun ka-valuable yung tinuturo niya sa'yo. That is the most precious and valuable thing that I learned from Joe. Humility, and at the same time, the learnings that no one can ever get that from you. you have to get this chance to be partner of Bedrock because not only the monetary amount that we receive from affiliate fees, but also the learnings that we can get being a Bedrock partner. So that is my message to all the online accountants and bookkeepers or students of Bedrock. Thank you.
CEO and founder of Bedrock. It is an accounting firm in Bethpage, New York. A natural entrepreneur and certified public accountant. His passion is to help small business owners thrive and succeed in their business goals and aspirations. Has dedicated over 40 years to working with thousands of business owners. His heart is truly to help the Filipinos get this golden opportunity of becoming a freelancer. So without further ado, welcome Mr. Joe Tichara.
Kumusta?
Hello, Joe and everyone. I'm Juvie Ebo, a co-pastor of the Heart of Jesus Discipling Multitudes International here in Bislig City. I'm the pastor of Catherine Fourine, one of Joe's workers. Thank you, Joe, for visiting us. I'm so grateful to have known you in person. Grateful also for all the favor that you have extended us, the scholarships and the 50% discount of all your courses. Thank you so much for giving us a free seminar on how to start your freelancing career and how to gain financial freedom through it. This seminar impacted us a lot through your story and even the story of your mom, your first worker. It inspired us and gave us hope that even in our late years, we can still earn income. We can still achieve financial freedom. And so thank you so much. Your humility also impacted us. You're not only a but you're also a friend. Thank you for the friendship, Joe. Blessings to your career. I declare that your territory, your influence will expand more, will be enlarged, and your humility will bring you to the topmost blessings in this field of business you will be able to achieve this year. More blessings, Joe. Thank you so much. God bless you, your company, and your team.
Hi, my name is Vicky Wanadana, and I'd like to tell you about my association with Joe. 10 years ago, I was working as a manager for a condominium. I needed more time at home because I was taking care of both my parents, so I needed to leave that job. I talked to Joey about it, and he asked me to work for him. My answer was, are you crazy? I live in New Mexico and you live in New York. No problem, he said. We'll do it online, and I'll teach you. A little at a time. Over the years, he taught me data entry, reconciliation, payroll, and some other things that I do for him every now and then. Joe, I found, is a very considerate teacher. He works at your pace. He's available at any time. So I would recommend him if you're looking to either start a business or you're in a small business, because you need the kind of knowledge that he has. I'm still learning from him. I attend all his classes. You would do good to look into it. By the way, did I mention that I'm 75? I started working for Joe when I was 65, so it's never too late to get started at.
Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for gathering us all today in this important endeavor. We ask that you bestow your guidance and blessing upon each attendee. May we honor one another by keeping an open mind. May we voice our truth and listen with heart. Bless everyone present today, that each may be able to share his or her contributions and gifts. Grant good health and safety to loved ones left outside this room, and bestow peace and goodwill to all of us. We ask for your wisdom and grace to use our talents for the betterment of others. May the various activities related to this day be a success through your intervention. With gratitude, we offer this prayer in your name. Amen.
All right. And we're live. Ay, hindi. Good evening, accounting peoples. Good evening, everyone. So, we're 102 and counting. So, before we start, nag-dinner na ba kayo, guys? So, before we start, I want to know first, taga saan ba kayo? And then, if I can also request if you could open your camera para as early as now, medyo makilala ko na kayo and hindi itong ating una't huling pagkikita for those newbies. Can I see where are you located? Para naman baka Davao. Batangas ako. Anyone sa malapit sa akin? Batangas, Bacoor, yan. And we want to make sure lahat tayo dito is engaging and interactive. So we will ask random question. So para mas kilala natin isa't isa. Laguna, maraming Laguna. Calabarzon, ayan, Cebu. Sikat taga Cebu. Pasay, Marikina, okay. And although kahit iba din naka-open ng camera, sana mag-type kayo. And then later on, meron, oy, Doha, International. Assalamualaikum. So, yan. So, later on, meron tayong picture taking para naman ma-post natin sa ating social media. And before we start again, sino dito ang first time maka-attend ng webinar o saan nyo nakita yung invitation for this webinar? And bakit kayo nandito? Ano yung gusto nyong matutunan from us? So, just to manage your expectation, medyo 1 hour or maglalampas tayo. LinkedIn daw. Okay, LinkedIn, Facebook. Saan pa? Sa kanto, nakapost ba sa kanto to? Hindi naman. Facebook, LinkedIn, tama ba? Okay, good, good. Again, if this is your first time to attend, pa-type naman kung first time, kung hindi first time. Second time, third time, to hear my voice, yung maganda kong boses. Yan. And I want to shout out, of course, Bedrock team nandito. Of course, Joe is here. And I'll do the magiging moderator nyo ako. But before that, again, thank you so much for being here on, hindi ko na anong araw. Tuesday ba ngayon? Tuesday. Okay. Alright. So, before we start, ayan, iba familiar na yung faces. First time. I-welcome naman natin mga first timer. Ayan. Bigyan natin to ng ano. Bugay. Pagpupo. First time. Welcome sa mga first timer and I hope hindi ito ang last. Nasa biyahe pa. Ayan. Welcome. Okay. So, I will introduce, of course, pwede daw ako mag-Taglish as per joke. Kasi later on English na. So, gabi na, ubos na yung English ni Miss yan. So, expect some buffering. And medyo nagbabakal tayo because hindi tayo sanay mag-English. Tama ba? Okay. So, tonight, I'll introduce to you my coach and mentor. So, before, mamaya ko nakukwento kung ba't kami nagkakilala, paano ako napunta dito, and sino si Miss Yan for those who hindi pa ako kilala. So, I would like you to introduce Mr. Joe DiChara, a certified public accountant, an educator, of course, entrepreneur, who founded Bedrock Tax Solutions CPI and, of course, Bedrock Business Solutions. With over 40 years experience working with entrepreneurs, small business owners, freelancers, and bookkeepers. And of course, yan, taga New York siya, but I think, if I'm not mistaken, way back May 2022, he decided to settle here in the Philippines. Currently, nasa Taguig lang siya. So magti 3 years na siya, magpo 4 years na next year sa Pilipinas. So pero hindi pa rin siya marunong magtagalog. Hindi ko alam kung bakit. But anyway, without further ado, maybe he will just introduce himself more. So let's all welcome. Ayan, may naka-open na ng camera. Oh. Gusto ko yung naka-open. So shoutout ko kami mamaya. May pa-Gcash yung mag-open ng camera. Pasko na. Ayaw nyo yun. Okay, without further ado, let's all welcome Joe DiChara, CPA.
Wow, thank you so much, Marianne. First and foremost, let me start by saying thank you to God. Forever grateful. I'm truly blessed to be doing this. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. And, for those of you that know me and follow me, I'm a big fan of Napoleon Hill and Think and Grow Rich. And one of the turning points of my life was when I created what he calls a definite chief aim. And, I look at that today, crafted mine over 15 years ago, and I am exactly in the place that I described in that statement. If you don't know what a definite chief aim is, look up Bruce Lee, his definite chief aim. And, hopefully, if you don't know me already, because I do see a lot of familiar faces, I want to thank you all for coming, but I also see a lot of new faces, which is always good. Uh, and, tonight, and thank you, Marianne, thank you to my team, because to be honest with you, without all of them, this doesn't happen. Uh, it wasn't that long ago. I was a solopreneur. I was on my own, and my life was okay. I was fairly successful, and then I hired my coach and mentor Larry Broughton at a time when I really couldn't afford him, but I knew that if one thing in life is certain, if you keep doing the same thing, you're going to keep getting the same results. So I knew that I had to do something different, something that I hadn't done before. And again, going back to my definite chief aim, I looked at that and I said, if I really want to accomplish what I set out to do, I need Larry. Okay. And Larry introduced me to one of his businesses that he had just started called Hire My VA. And he asked me if I would be a one of his testers because it was his second version. And what it was really a course on how to hire Philippine freelancers. Now, I had been doing remote accounting for over 2 decades. As soon as I found out I can do work remotely via, Microsoft's remote desktop protocol, I was all in. So I've been doing this for a long time. If you joined early, you saw the testimonial from Cookie Bonadonna. She's actually my mother. And she was the first one that I taught uh, back in when she did that. It was over 20 years ago. She had no experience. Her experience, no accounting experience, no real accounting experience. Uh, Her computer experience was basically shopping and playing games on the computer. So she wasn't kidding. When I called her, she thought I was crazy. She thought, what do you mean you're going to teach me? I live in New Mexico. So that was, uh, how long I've been doing remote accounting. I'm always trying to scale my business, but wasn't successful. I had tried hiring remote workers all over the world, and it never worked out. And there were a lot of reasons for that, uh, mostly because of me. Basically, I was trying to hire people that were just like me, and Larry set me straight on that. For some reason, I never hired anyone from the Philippines. One of them might be because Philippine people weren't really doing remote work. So I just totally, skipped over the Philippines. I went to every other country in the world, India, Bangladesh. If they spoke English, I tried them. And what I found out was it wasn't only me, it was the communication problem. All of the people that I hired, and I did hire some good, I had web designers, social media people, a lot of them did okay. But in the end, when I wanted to scale my business, I needed people that would actually be able to talk to my clients and communicate with them. And none of them passed that test. I looked at all of them. I said, I can't have you talking to my clients because I don't even understand you. Even though people speak English, they don't speak American English, and there is a big difference. Words and believe me, I love people from all nations, okay? But when somebody says a word in English, in their culture, it means one thing. In the American culture, it might mean another thing. Okay, so that being said, Larry introduces me to the Philippine community, and it was, hire my VA, and it was a whole structured uh, method process on how to hire people. And it works all over the world, not just in the Philippines, but Larry had been working with people in the Philippines for over 15 years, him and his partner, and they wanted to basically spread the word, and this course was how they were doing it. And so you're going to learn through these two uh, sessions. Tonight is the first three modules. It actually it's going to be we're going to turn this into a course like I do with most things. There were six modules. We couldn't fit them all into one session. So, and Marianne's going to do three of them. I'm going to do the other three each night. And so, way back, what was it, almost 5 years ago, was when I hired my first Philippine team member. At that time, it was just me, and I had an executive assistant. She was really helping me mostly with social media. And I said, well, let's try this hire my VA thing. And we hired our first Philippine freelancer, Janine, and she was going to be a social media. She was going to help us with the social media. And right away, I was like, oh my God, she actually follows instructions. I can understand her. She's doing a great job. And then I said, well, let's try this with accountants because I'm building a whole new bedrock accounting business and we're going to need accountants. So the thing was, I never had a problem getting clients. Okay. The problem was getting the support staff. My mother was great, but she wasn't an accountant. She helped me run my business for over 15 years. Not only she did everything in QuickBooks, she dealt with my clients, she did all the payroll. In fact, she used to tell me to stay out of the payroll because I mess everything up. So she had her own way of doing things and she was amazing. But I was limited in growing my accounting practice. So I said, listen, Janine worked out great. Let's try this with an accountant. So again, I found an accountant. Well, he wasn't, again, I said, if I could teach my mom how to do this, let me find another person that is good at communications, that knows how to talk to people. He's comfortable on a Zoom call and I'll teach him the accounting. And I did that. And I hired my first Philippine accountant, Lewis. Okay. And Lewis actually helped train Luz. And I know Luz is in the meeting tonight. Luz is still with me. So and Luz had an accounting degree, but she wasn't an accountant. She never worked as an accountant. She had a very good position. She was like the second in command of a big local company, and maybe I'll bring her on later and she could tell you her story. Uh, but Lewis, who had no accounting experience before, I taught him, and now he was teaching Luz. And Luz is our operations manager. She does everything. She runs our accounting department. She trains our interns. So, long story short, 5 years later, we have a completely different business, all because of the Philippine community, because of people like Luz, like Rona, like Maria, Lawrence. Okay, if I can't name everybody, Coach Yan Yan. Uh, so we started Bedrock. I actually hired Marianne as one of our accountants. Uh, she had started a Facebook group called Accounting Peoples. And I like that. I like the fact that because I mean, she wasn't doing it for money. She was doing it to help people. And Accounting Peoples was her format to introduce Philippine people to the freelancing world, the Philippine accountants. And so after about a month, Marianne met with me and she said, I really, I can't do this job for you because I'm going to hold you back. I have other things that I really want to do, and I could see that this is actually like a serious job, and you have, big goals, and I'm not the person for you. And I said, my respect for Marianne went way through the roof because most people wouldn't do that. They would just quit and say, I'm done. She had, and it must have been a pretty scary thing, to confront me, the CPA from Brooklyn, the American accountant. Uh, but she did that, and I said, well, listen, you have that little group. She had 1,500 members at the time, and I said, maybe I have that course that I actually created after I taught my mother because I saw how powerful it was. It wasn't just powerful for me that I got to hire somebody to help me. The side benefit was that it changed my mother's life. It gave her freedom because now she could work from home. She didn't have to leave my grandparents because every time she got in the car and left, she had a knot in her stomach. What if something happens? What if they need me? I took all of that working for me took all of that fear and anxiety away from her. She could make her own schedule. She could work on Saturday night if she wanted to. She could play her computer games. And like I said, for 15 years, she worked for me. Uh, and then when the opportunity presented itself that, hey, maybe I could teach these Philippine freelancers how to do US accounting, Marianne was like all in. She's like, let's do it. And we just put a couple of posts in her group. Now remember, she had 1,500 people at the time, but they were active. Okay, I had a friend with 80,000 people in her group, and she didn't have the amount of activity that accounting people's had. So you know, that showed me something. I said, these people really want to learn. So we did our first course. We called it, at the time, we called it the 13-week course. And it was all about teaching Philippine freelancers the American way of accounting and doing taxes. Because what I learned was the way that you do accounting in the Philippines is totally different than accounting in the US. And we'll get into that. We do tax accounting. We don't do financial accounting. We don't look for receipts for everything that back every transaction up. We just go, right to the bank and credit card statements. And you'll get a taste of that. Anyway, so that's the background of how we wound up here today. That first course that we did, we had over between 50 and 60 people that actually paid $197 for that course. Now, I didn't know about the exchange rate. I didn't know that, what was that, like 20,000, 10,000. It was a lot of pesos for people. Okay, later on, I said, "Oh my God, all those people signed up. If I would have known how much it was, because in America, that's not a lot. I mean, it's a good amount, but for a 13-week course, that was low. Anyway, so we did that course, and it was a huge success. I think we still have we so Luz didn't have the benefit of that course, but after we did that course, all of our accounting people came from that course. I think Rona, I know Rona's and Myrna's in the group now. Maybe you can post in the chat. They were either in batch one or batch two. I always forget. So we did it again. Again, we had between 50 and 60 uh, students, and we didn't just have 50 or 60 students. Most of them attended every week to the live course. So this told me, I said, man, these Philippine people, they really want to learn. Not only did they learned quickly, because I remember, I think Jasmine was one of our first hires, Catherine. It was almost scary how quickly they picked up the whole accounting system, because all of the Philippine people that I hired as accountants, they were doing stuff in less than a year that it usually takes American accountants 5 years to do. Okay. Within a year, my Bedrock teammates were not only doing the accounting and tax returns, they were meeting with my clients. You don't do that in America. Now, it takes 5 years before the firm is comfortable saying, hey, you can handle this client now. Go and tell them what they're doing wrong. Okay. Tell them what we're missing. Tell them why, we need this. So it was a real, uh, like I said, I just thank God, because I don't believe in coincidences. Okay. All the things that have happened, and I can go through them, like this is, exactly what I'm supposed to do. Okay. From that course, now we have hundreds of students. They start asking me, can you teach us Drake? Can you teach us the accounting software? So we made another course. Then they wanted to learn about payroll. So we made another course for payroll. Then they want to learn about and then, little by little, now we have a whole slew of courses up there. And it's under Bedrock 360 Business Training. We have over 30 courses online, and we just keep continuing to add courses. We added QuickBooks Online, Wave Apps, Zero, Zoho Books. Now we're even adding personal development courses. So, it's really a fluid situation. Uh, Add to that, last September we started with AI, so we put together a whole AI course for accounting professionals on how to find a job using AI. Uh, but anyway, so we have all these things going on. I've been partnering with Marianne since that first uh, batch of accounting students. Uh, and I said, let's do a workshop. Me and you will do a workshop on how to crack the US accounting market. And the timing could not be better. Okay. Because right now in the US, and I only talk about US accounting. Okay. The truth is, accountants are needed all over the globe. Okay. They're needed in the Philippines, But the thing is, they're needed in Australia, in Canada. The truth is that the most money, the most opportunities are in the US. So that's what I talk about. So I'm going to take you through the slideshow right now. Uh, I'm going to go through a couple of slides and then I'm going to hand it over to Coach Yan Yan. She's going to go through some of her slides that where she's an expert at. See, I'm an expert in the US market. Marianne is an expert in getting clients in the US market. Okay, if that makes sense. How to nail an interview, how to, monitor, what do you optimize your LinkedIn profile, but we'll get to that. So the first thing I want to talk about is what is the actual opportunity and why is it there now? Okay. So I like to call this the perfect storm of opportunity. Okay. Uh, I've been in accounting over 40 years. I've seen, so when I was studying to be an accountant, it was totally different than today. Everybody that wanted to get a job in business wanted to have an accounting degree because it didn't matter if you wanted to go to work for a bank, an insurance company, if you actually wanted to be an accountant, having an accounting degree was like the premium degree that you could have. And it wasn't easy to even get into the accounting department. So what would happen, a lot of my friends went into the accounting program and they got weeded out. When they had to take like the tough accounting courses. That was the like intermediate accounting. That was where, they weeded out the people that weren't really serious about being accountants. Okay. So that was then. When I graduated, there were a lot of accounting graduates looking for accounting jobs. So the competition was stiff. Okay. Come back 4 decades later, a lot of stuff has changed. Okay. Number one, computers. 1981, they started with desktop computers. I graduated in 1984. So by the time 1984 came, nobody had really incorporated computers into their businesses unless they were like big businesses, but it was the start. It was the start of desktop computing. And then about 6 years later, they came out with QuickBooks. Okay. And I got to tell you, accountants thought that it was over for them. They literally thought that, oh, QuickBooks is going to replace all of us and TurboTax. So between QuickBooks and TurboTax, nobody was going to need an accountant anymore. And I actually bought into that for about 3 days. And then I realized that nobody was teaching their business owners how to use QuickBooks. So I'm an entrepreneur. I went around teaching people how to use QuickBooks. I got a lot of clients. I made a lot of money. And guess what? QuickBooks didn't replace anybody. Okay. And I see the same thing happening now with AI. Everybody's saying, oh, AI is going to replace all these people. No, it's only going to replace the people that think it's going to replace them, if that makes sense. My advice to everybody today is figure out how to use AI to make your job better. How use AI to increase your productivity. Okay. Then what happened was Apple Computer came on the scene. And all of a sudden, it wasn't just nerds, computer geeks that went to school for computers. Now, all of a sudden, computers were cool. So less people were attracted to accounting. It started siphoning off, the smart people. Okay, so all of a sudden it wasn't, hey, getting an accounting degree wasn't a ticket anymore. Now you can get a computer degree. Okay, then the internet happened. Another, watershed moment in business and accounting. Okay. And the other contributing factor was the fact that US accounting firms weren't offering anything special. To get an accounting job, you were looking at low pay, long hours. You had to get a lot of experience to get your CPA license. So you're talking about, 5 years of struggle. Okay. You tell a high school kid that, hey, you should become an accountant so that by the time you're 30, you might be making some money. That's not exciting. So guess what happened? Over the years, less and less people started majoring in accounting. So there's a lot less accounting students. Okay. This was, and it also showed me that that's why I couldn't really find anybody in the US to help me grow my business. The pool of talent was limited. And it's been going down and down until maybe the last 5 or 10 years, accounting firms started waking up and saying, hey, we can't find people. Where are they going to find people? Well, guess what? The Philippines. Okay. I already told you, I tried all the other countries and I've talked to accountants, business owners all over the world, and they had the same opinion. The communication is not there. Okay. So the other thing in the United States is that there's more businesses. There's a lot more businesses than there ever were before. And that's just going up. It's not going down. People, because of technology, because not only technology, because of the new, work-life balance thing, they're more interested in having a life. Okay. And I know that that's another thing that really resonates with the Philippine culture. Family is important. Okay. For a long time in the United States, it was all about, hey, let me get a job, let me get a career. When I make enough money, then I'll be happy. People started realizing that was a myth. They were working themselves to death, not seeing their family, not eating dinner with their kids. Okay. So that's where we are today. So right now there's a serious shortage of accountants out there with the demand going up. And it's not just accounting firms and small businesses, big businesses. There's big public companies that can't get their quarterly reports done because they don't have the accountants to do it. It's a serious problem in the United States. Okay. So, how does that affect you? Well, guess what? Last year, they decided to bring the CPA exam to the Philippines. Okay. Marianne shared this with me last year. She saw a LinkedIn post that, uh, hey, they're bringing the CPA exam back to the Philippines. There's 2 testing centers in Manila and one in Cebu. And I was like, that's interesting. I didn't even know that you could be a US CPA if you weren't a US citizen. So that opened, I created a whole course. I started doing research on, so we have a course now on how to become a US CPA. I don't teach you how to pass the exam. There's a lot of other places that have been doing that since before I was even born. But what I teach in that course is how to jump through all the hoops. So what I found out is all you need, if you have an accounting degree, there's a good chance that that will transfer over to the US. And then I cover all the different states. I give you what states are the best ones for you to apply to. But that's a whole nother story. So just think about it. If you have an accounting degree, I'm gonna paint a quick picture here for you. If anybody is looking for a position right now, okay, and even if you're a CPA in the Philippines, that's not going to hold weight in the United States. Okay. It's impressive, but they're going to say, well, you can't talk to the IRS. You can't do an audit in the US. That's great that you're a Philippine CPA, but it's not going to help us in the US. Well, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. If you just decide that you want to become a US CPA, you can put it on your resume, you can put it on your LinkedIn profile, CPA candidate. Okay. And guess what? If 10 people are applying for the same position and you're the only CPA candidate, you think you're going to stick out from the crowd? Now, that doesn't even mean that you have to study for the exam, you have to apply. All you got to say is, yeah, I'm actively pursuing my CPA license. And it could be as simple as signing up for my course. Or forget about my course. It could be as simple as, hey, listen, I'm doing the research. I found out that I could actually apply to take the CPA exam. And that's what I want to do. CPAs, just because you have that CPA designation, the amount you can charge is going to triple. Okay. Your your desirability as an employee, as a worker, as a small business's accountant goes up exponentially. Okay, so that's just it. Listen, if you walk away from this workshop right now and you take that away, that's that's valuable. Okay, but we got a lot more value to give you. Okay, so why would U.S. companies want to hire offshore people? Well, it costs less. Not only that, it's a lower wage base because, listen, the cost of living in the United States is through the roof. And I know that now. I know that Marianne talked about. I live in Metro Manila. I live in Arca South right now. I first lived in BGC for a little while. Now my soon-to-be wife Bella and I, we moved closer to our family, so we're in uh, Arca South. And I got to tell you, uh, just a taxi ride from here to BGC might cost us between $6 and $10 in US. In the US, it would cost me 40. Okay. So it costs a lot more to live in the US. So that's why, you know, somebody making 100,000 in the US, that would be what? Almost 600,000 in pesos, right? You're not rich. And in fact, if you got a family making that much money, you're barely surviving in the United States. It's a real problem. So, first of all, there's not enough accountants to begin with. And if they could hire somebody offshore, they don't have to pay payroll taxes, they don't have to pay insurance. So it costs a lot more. Skilled workforce, I already covered this. Even so, here's the other thing. I'm an American, and it hurts me to say this, but American workers are lazy. They don't have when I got into accounting, I was hungry. Okay. Everybody was hungry. They wanted to work. Something happened in America, okay? I don't know what it is, probably a lot of things mixed in. They call them Gen Zs now, and the people write books about them. And they're like, all they want, if they go for a job, they want to know how many vacation days do they get? Is there medical insurance? And is there a game room? Okay. So American business owners, American firms know this. And they're like, when I hire people offshore, they actually seem like they want to work. Not only do they want to work, they want to learn. Okay. I said, when I started hiring accountants, it was shocking to me how quickly they learn. Okay. So the Philippine community is you're skilled, your command of the English language, both spoken and written, even though a lot of you are like self-conscious about your English, trust me, uh, the Philippine people are way above the whole world when it comes to communicating in English. And there's scientific facts about why that is. A lot of it is because we occupied your country for a long time. Okay, the Philippines, they were talking about making the Philippines another state, believe it or not. So a lot of our culture, our English speaking skills transferred over to you. Okay, proven track record. Right now, I met a guy, John Pagalion. I'm sure a lot of you know him. Marianne introduced me to him. He started with his freelance group before COVID. He was way ahead of his time. Well, some of those people have been working in jobs all over the world for years now. I know some of my students have gone out and gotten positions. Now they've been doing it for years. It's not it's not a question anymore. There's a proven track record. So I've already talked about, some of the stuff. Your professional strengths, your English, you learn. You learn very quickly. In fact, I couldn't believe, I when I hired Luz, I found out Luz was actually going out and paying for more courses in her days off. And I was like, oh my God. And that's typical. That's typical of the Philippine culture. Uh, again, adaptable to US standards. I keep saying, my people, they learn way faster than American people. Okay, cultural advantages, client focused service mentality, uh, strong commitment to long term uh, relationships. That's very important. It costs a lot of money to hire and train somebody. Americans got used to, hey, I'll stay at this job for 2 years, get experience, and then I'll find something paying more. There's no loyalty. So these numbers are totally realistic. I don't know how much you're earning now. I know a lot of people go out and get jobs for $3 an hour. You don't have to do that anymore. Okay. Yeah, there's jobs you can get out there all day long for $2, $3 an hour. Okay. But if you follow my system, my advice, Marianne's system, Marianne's advice, you're going to get more. Okay. And we have a way of doing that. Some people, I was just talking to Marianne before, we had a student in our first batch, Sir George. He decided he was going to go out and specialize. He would go out and get projects. And he was making $75 an hour. So there's an old saying, if you believe you can, you're right. And if you believe you can't, you're right. It all comes down to what do you believe? Well, once you grasp this, okay, now it might be scary. Okay, I understand the whole fear thing. Most of you, from what I could see, have your videos, your cameras on. Okay, so hi, Luz, I see you there. You look pretty tonight. Uh, hey, Ron, I see Rona there too, and I see Jomel. I'm watching you. Okay. Uh, for all of you that have your cameras on, congratulations. For all of you that don't, uh, big mistake. Big mistake. Okay. I'm not trying to pick on you, but what I've learned, and Marianne will tell you the same thing, you're only going to conquer the fear by doing it. Okay. Some of you, maybe most of you, never spoke to an American business owner. And Luz will validate this. Luz, can you turn off your mic for a second?
Yes, Joe.
Yeah. So I'm sorry to pick on you, but you're there.
Yeah.
Were people afraid to talk to me when they first started?
Yeah, because it's
Okay.
English. And you look intimidating.
Yeah, because, and I've learned, I've gotten a lot better. I didn't realize, I'm from New York. I'm Italian. My voice is loud. I'm very like animated. And I was scaring a lot of people, not intentionally, but when I realized that, I said, oh, I mean, I still talk loud, but I've calmed down a lot. Am I right, Liz?
Yeah.
Yes. So that there's a culture shock. But the truth is that I never hurt anyone, okay? Not intentionally. Uh, so it might be scary for you to get on a Zoom call with an American, okay? What I can tell you is you're not going to be successful until you learn how to get over that. And I'm going to tell you how I did it with Luz. I told her we were going to meet with two of my clients. They were a married couple, very nice people. And I said, I'm going to be in the meeting with you. So you got nothing to worry about. And 5 minutes before the meeting, I went and took a nap. I had no intention of joining the meeting. Yeah, you think that's funny, right, Grace? I see you laughing. And guess what? She went to the meeting. I met with her. I said, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I missed the meeting. I fell asleep." And she was like, "They were so nice. They were so nice." And all the fear that was the last time I ever had to go into a meeting with her with the client. Okay. And since then, she's trained every single one of our accountants, and every single one of them. I see Rona there and Myrna, and I've been in client meetings with all of them, and they have no fear I mean, they might have fear, I don't know, but when they talk to clients, you can't say it. And the truth is, the clients are more afraid to talk to us than you realize. They don't know anything about accounting. It's scary to them. Okay. So, these are some of the obstacles, and Marianne is going to go into more detail when she talks. But once you figure this out, believe me, it becomes a lot easier. In fact, Luz probably meets with clients now, and she's probably saying to herself, "What was I afraid of?" Okay. Okay, so right now I'm going to hand this over to my partner in crime, Coach Yan Yan. Marianne, are you set up as a co-host?
Yes, I do. Hold on. Can I navigate your slide? By the way, I will talk in
Uh,
Tagalog. Ayoko magpakahirap, guys. I will talk in Tagalog with the permission of Joe. I will try to
that's
speak in
fine. That's
Taglish
fine.
siya
Just
para
I'm
mas
gonna put my
ma-explain ko sa inyo.
I'm gonna put my translator on. Ellen, are you here? Can you help me out here?
Okay, just to navigate the slide. But basically, thank you so much, Joe, for giving us an overview. What's the opportunity of working U.S. market? So, for those newbie and for those who doesn't know me, I'm Marian Rivera Dantes. No, I'm Marian Lobonete, coach yan. By the way, yan, pinapatawa ko lang kayo kung gising pa kayo, malamang gutom na kayo eh, di ba? O, di natawa kayo ngayon. Kasi ganda ko rin naman siya. Lamang lang siya ng mga 100 na ligo, tama ba? So, ang ganda ko sa camera ko ngayon. Okay, so tumatawa sila dyan. Hindi ko alam kung totoo o natatawa sila. But anyway, ayan, so just to give an overview for those first-timer. Again, sino dito yung first-timer? Sana wag kayong madala Baka sabihin niyo puro ano lang yung sasabihin natin. Ay, baka talaga ay, gusto ko yan si Sir, yung naka-yellow. Si Sir Frederick. Para siyang nanunumpa ng panatang makabayan. Gusto ko yan. First timer, can you raise your hands? Ayan. Why? Because I'll give you an overview how it all started. So, I'm Miss Marian Labonete. Just like you, magsasurvey muna tayo. Sino dito yung nasa corporate? And who wants to transition to freelancing para mag-gauge natin yung crowd? Na-carried away sila. Tumaas sila ng kamay. Pa-type po. Pwede po mag-type. Me. Ayan. Tumaas pa rin sila ng kamay. Pa-type po ng nasa corporate transitioning. Number 1, corporate. Number 2, OFW. Number 3, non-accountant, nurse, engineer who wants to transition to become a bookkeeper. Sino dito yan? Ayan. Para makita natin kung nasang phases na kayo or ano yung pinagdadaanan nyo ngayon, bakit kayo nandito. Kasi for some reason, you are being brought here because you're looking for some guidance. Tama ba? So, mali kayo ng pinasukang Zoom. Hindi ito guidance. Charot. Mali. Hindi. Seriously, ayan, tinitingnan ko lang kung nasan phases kayo. But basically, lahat tayo accountant and want to transition. Si Grace tuwang-tuwa, yung naka-red. Aliw na agad siya. Wala pa tayo sa exciting part, be. Ayan. Okay. So, kaya ako sinasabi yan kasi I'm also a corporate employee way back 2021. Okay? So, medyo matatagalan tayo ng konti kasi let's go back. Mag-ano muna tayo, memory lane. 2020, lockdown. Para mas ma-realize nyo bakit tayo nagkaroon ng ganitong opportunity. Para yung mas ma-realize nyo what's the purpose of being here. 2020, natatandaan nyo pa ba? Nagka-amnesia na. Exact date, March 10, 2020, ni-lockdown tayo. Accountant, di pwedeng makakalimutin, wag ganon. Tama? Na-lockdown and then wala tayong income. Tama ba yon? Sorry to say, some of you, marami ding nawalan ng family. Baka kasi nakakalimutan nyo where we all started. But the good thing, if you come to think of it, that lockdown opens a big opportunity. Even ako, I didn't imagine na possible. Tama ba? So, nawalan tayo ng income, but basically, that 2020, we have to survive. Tama ba? Ito yata yung pinaka-rock bottom natin. Wala na tayong way. Paano tayo magtatrabaho? Hindi ako makalabas. Sanay ako umaaura, sanay ako naliligo. Ngayon, hindi na ako nakakaligo. Diba? Naliligo araw-araw nun Ngayon, hindi na. Tama ba? So, 2021, just like you from corporate, I transition to freelancing. So, kagaya nyo, hindi ko rin alam kung paano magsisimula. Sino dito yung loss? Ano ba talaga yung first step of working remotely? Okay, nasa module pa ba ako? Baka nalulos ako sa track. Ano ba yung discussion sa module? Ano ba yun? Baka nawala na ako. Ano nga ba yung module to? But just to give you lang an overview how it all started. Tama? So, siguro I'm in a good position to share this journey because again, just like you, I already prayed also this kind of doors na mag-open. Saan ba ako pupunta? Ano bang next sa akin after the corporate, after retirement? Tama ba? Sino dito magre-retire na? OFW. Wala na akong mapagsidlan. Wala na yung ganung gusto kong maging accountant bookkeeper. Ang tagal ko na maging gusto mag-work from home. Tama? So that's open a lot of opportunities. And si Joe, nakita niya yung opportunities sa US. Ako, first client ko, March 2021, part-time US client. But, ito yung but guys. Nagtatrabaho ako sa corporate, tapos nagkaroon ako ng client na full-time sa New York. New York din ang una kong naging client sa accounting firm. So imagine, hindi natutulog. That's July, whole July, 8 to 5, corporate. 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. nasa EST time zone. Kamusta naman yung wala nang ligo, wala pang tulog? Kasi bawal ka maligo po ya, tama? Bawal daw, matulog. Ewan ko anong epekto daw nun. Bababa dugo. Ay, buhay pa naman ako ngayon, so okay pa naman siguro yun. Mga 1 month lang naman ako walang tulog that time. Okay? So again, pwede pong pabalik sa slide. Si Miss Irene nakatitig sa akin. Maganda ko siguro ngayong gabi. Miss Irene Santos. Ayan. Pwede pong pabalik na slide. Baka kasi nawala na lost track ako. Just to give you lang an overview bakit kayo nandito at bakit kayo nag-click, di ba? Kasi hindi naman kayo magki-click for no reason at all. Wala lang akong magawa, miss yan. Tambay. Bakit ba? Gusto ko lang. Diba? So, hindi ganon. So, kaya kayo nandito, you're looking for some guidance and I'll give you some overview on how to do it. Okay? Pwede pong sino po yung ano natin. I don't have the slide just to at least matama ako ng sinasabi. Joe, can you help me? Knox English.
Yeah, I don't know how to give you control.
Anyone from the team can share the module too. So hindi ako mali.
I can
Ano English yung maligaw? Lost? Yan. English yun. Yan. At least doon pa rin tayo sa module, but I'm just giving you some overview. Yeah. Yeah, positioning yourself. So, ito yung pinakamahirap, tama po ba? Sa dami ng sinasabi naming opportunities, millions of opportunities, but you're still having a hard time to position yourself. Am I right? LinkedIn, sa online jobs ako pinapansin, naliligo naman ako masiyan, ba't di ba ako napapansin? Ang ganda-ganda ko naman sa Zoom. Bakit ganon? So, let's go back. March 2021 as a freelancer, and then table turns, naging agency owner, ngayon headhunter na si Miss Yan. Now, I see the gap. Okay? Ano yung gap na sinasabi mo, Miss Yan? So, before, when we started, wala pang ang AI that time. So, eventually, I craft some steps paano kayo magkakaroon ng positioning yourself sa market. Of course, ayan, kung makikita niyo ako sa LinkedIn, you have to really build your own branding and credibility sa market. And siguro most of you, sino dito yung introvert na accountant? O lahat introvert, 'di ba? As an accountant, we are trained and born nandun lang sa sulok ng office, nasa cubicle, hindi lumalabas, hindi nakikipag-usap sa other department. Basta't magtatrabaho lang siya, tama? Tapos kontrabida tayo sa lahat ng department. Kasi ang higpit ni accounting, tama ba? Sino dito yung nasa head tapos suplado do mga taga-accounting, ang nerd, nakasalmin lahat. Tama po ba? Walang kumakausap. 'Di ba? So, sino dito yan? Relate, tama? Pero, if you're a freelancer or you choose to become a freelancer working remotely or yun nga, freelancer working remotely, pwede bang mula ngayon pakialis yon yung pagiging mahiyain? Yung pagiging, ay, introvert ako, ayoko po magsalita. Because in reality, in real world pala, real talk tayo, ang gusto na ng client is someone they can rely on and someone who can speak their mind and someone na nagsasuggest. Advisory ang gusto nila ngayon. Tama ba? Mag-agree ba kayo doon? Or, yun na nga, meron tayong limiting beliefs na mahihiyain ako minsan eh. Bigyan mo na akong trabaho, tatrabahuhin ko na lang. Kasi accountant naman ako, hindi ko naman kailangan magsalita. But again, in a way, agency owner and nakakakita na ng mga applicant, they want someone who can really communicate. But take note of this communication skills. Let's have a deeper understanding of communication skills. Communication skill doesn't need to be good in English. There's a lot of form of speaking a good communication. Tama ba? Ako nga hindi marunong mag-English. Hirap na hirap nga ako ngayon eh. Tama? nababother ako sa English ko, baka ano tayo, magarote tayo ng mga English ESL teacher dito. Tama? There's such way as, for example, communication skills, of course, yung mga ano natin, mga workflow, mga deliverables, cheat sheet, mga na-set nating, what do you call that one? Workflow, yun nga, checklist. So, para ma-communicate natin clearly kay client. Tama ba? Hindi necessarily English. Sometimes nagkakaroon tayo ng miscommunication sa, ay, galing dapat mag-English, which is not true. Sino dito nakaranas na ng interview ng mga agency na mas mahigpit pa yung mga agency kaysa sa totoong client? May nagarote na dati, sabi niya, ang pangit na English mo, Miss yan. Sabi ko, ay, totoo ba? Sabi ko, I will improve my English next time. But at least constructive criticism yon, tama? But the truth is, hindi kailangan, even Joe, pag nag-uusap kami, sometimes I'm run out of words din talaga. Then mali-mali talaga grammar ko. But it doesn't matter as long as you can communicate. Okay? Next slide, please. So, ayan. Let's have a credibility on markers, of course. Ayan. Medyo nalulos talaga ako pag wala Ayan. Etong isang tong sinabi dito, aside from that, may na-miss out tayo dito. Gusto ko idagdag, if you really want to skyrocket your career in 2026 as a freelancers, take note of tong isang to. Number one, you have to be techie. Tama? Tsaka natin isusunod si niche. Ano po yung techie, Miss yan? Techie. Tech savvy. So, sino dito hindi alam? Siguro naman lahat tayo marunong mag-Zoom, emails, project management tools, accounting software. Sino dito yung may alam na dyan? Yung project management tools, later on yun. Pero at least yung tatlong yung mag-Zoom, mag-open ng camera. Baka hindi marunong mag-open ng camera, kaya walang camera. So, dapat marunong kayo mag-open ng camera, mag-setup ng sounds. Yan. So, accounting software. And then, next is, tama ito, you have to niche down your services. So, because as you can see, sa market ngayon, ito yung top 5 na industries na maganda sa US ngayon, especially the e-commerce. Favorite na favorite ko to. Just recently, sabi ko nga may nakuha tayo in a way. Part-time lang naman na e-commerce. Tinry ko lang talaga kung ubra pa yung magic. But it works. E-commerce, real estate, ayan, yan yung mga, tapos construction and even accounting firm. Ito yung top 5. So, if nakikita nyo itong list na to, paki-screenshot. Kasi, you have to position yourself as early as now as an expert on those industries. Okay. Bakit maraming e-commerce business sa US? Do you know why? Bakit kaya? Kasi most sa US, maybe Joe will agree, marami sa US, meron din naman silang 8 to 5 jobs and they're looking for a part-time or other side hustle. Tama? So, all you have to do, aside from niching down, ito isang tip ko sa inyo, all you have to do is learn those pain points. Yan. And then, yung 5 yan, i-memorize nyo yan and then list down nyo lahat ng pain points. So, sabi nga dito, why they choose offshore? Because bukod sa, if ikaw ang business owners, normally, ang rate ng bookkeeper accountant sa US, hindi bababa ng $50. I think nasa $80 per hour, if I'm not mistaken. 80 to 50, 150 to 200 per hour ang magagaling na accountant sa US. While kanina pinakita ni Joe, you can charge a minimum of $7. Tama ba? Tama? Minimum. Compute kayo, accounting, compute, 7 times 160. 160 hours. Pabilisan tayo. Para mas ma-motivate kayo why you have to choose this kind of career. 66,000, tama ba? Nasa 60,000? Pa-type naman. O times 59 yung rate, mataas ang rate. Magkano po in peso? $7 times 160 equals times 59. Para makita nyo kung ano hindi. O, 66 nga, tama. Nag-compute ako kanina, akala nyo talino ko. Nag-compute ako kanina kasi nakita ko yung minimum. When I started as $3 per hour. Masaya na akong kumikita noon ng 4,000 a week kasi part-timer. So, sasahurin nyo ba yan sa Pilipinas? Kaya ba yan sumahod sa Pilipinas? Nasa bahay, nakatipid ka sa sabon, sa tubig, sa transportation. Pangsahod po yan ng isang accounting manager, baka CFO pa. Tama ba? So, I want you to mag-hold back doon, ay mag-hold, ano doon, mag-highlight doon kasi that's why ang daming gusto mag-transition. Eh what if gumaling kayo ng gumaling, naging magaling kayo sa tax, ano na lang yung kaya nyo pang kitain? Okay? So sabi nga dito, maraming gusto mag-offshore na client because of that reason. Okay. So if you're a newbie or you're planning to transition, this is some of the services that you can offer. So una sabi ko, tech-savvy niche down. And then packaging your service, tama yan, number 3, because soon, if you're a newbie, magsa-start muna kayo sa monthly bookkeeping, clean up. And then sunod, magsi-specialize kayo sa payroll. Actually, just now, one of our client looking for payroll, know how to use AS for 4,000 and ADP payroll. Because in the US, well-known na ADP na system tsaka gusto. So yung dalawang yon, if you could learn and magkaroon ng expertise, alam ko may course si Joe ng payroll, then some sales tax, and of course, ang pinaka mataas in a way is tax preparation. So ito yung something na mas maghahalimaw kayo balang araw yung tax prep. Kasi ito, taon-taon yan. At napaka-specialized niyan. So kung nag-start si Joe magturo ng 2022, most likely yung mga graduate that time magagaling na, nasa 3 years experience na hands-on experience na sila sa business and individual tax. Tama ba? So what's the point? So if you will not start somewhere today, may iwan ka. Ayan. So that's why here, if you want to really become a high-value accountant and bookkeeper, you should start somewhere, learn to unlearn, mag-upskill, makinig ng mga webinar, marami namang resources si Miss Yan before ng mga free webinar, magtanong, mag-observe, mag-research, maging resourceful. So, anong pinaka kailangan nyo gawin to start and to really strive on this kind of industry? Again, sabi dito, value. So, you always look, mamayang gabi, maghanap kayo ng problema. Alam ko problema natin lahat pera, pero bukod sa pera, ano pa ang problema ng bawat industry na nakita nyo kanina? Kaya gusto ko, screenshot nyo kanina yung industry kasi all you have to do is learn those pain points and you can start from there. And if you can create a solution based on those problem, definitely you can get clients. And then ito, kaya interrelated yung value. Of course, you're just not only solving problem, but ang usapan dito, kasi di ba nabanggit ko kanina, speed. Kasi, kaya nga kayo hinire ni client, they want speed and deliverable sa inyo. So, how you will become speed doon? Sometimes you need a structure, tama? A guide, a template, a workflow. Kasi in reality, if mag-start ka ng freelancing, walang mag-guide sa'yo. Ito, no bias. Only Bedrock gives me the best onboarding process when nag-start ako. Na pagkadating ng interview, meron agad ako natanggap na contract, may onboarding agad, may trainings, I have to watch those videos, and may mga teammate na mag-guide sa'yo. Sasaluhin ka na sa Slack, you will given access to Wave, tama ba, Luz? 6 na account agad. Nandanda ako. I don't know how to use Wave also, but again, natututunan naman yung mga ganong bagay. First time ko rin makakita ng Wave, ng Drake, ng ganong onboarding. So, pero in reality, marami sa company, lalo pag mga SMEs, correct me if I'm wrong, Joe, they don't have an onboarding process. That's why, nagkakaroon tayo ng takot, paano ko ma-deliver? So, ngayon, nagkakaroon ng gap is either bibitaw kayo as a bookkeeper kasi natatakot kayong sabihin na hindi nyo alam yung ginagawa nyo. Correct? Paano pag na-hire ako, Miss Yan? Ano nang gagawin ko? And then soon, pag nagkaroon ka na ng lahat ng yan, tools, dahil may community naman, before nga walang ganun, mga community, mapagtatanungan eh. But now we have a community. And then, of course, you have a specialty. Dapat magkaroon ka ng niche. So, pag tinanong ko ba kayo, sige nga, anong gusto nyo saan kayo makilala? Para at least ngayon pa lang, alam nyo na yung path na tatahakan nyo. Tax prep, payroll, US accountant, o di ba alam nyo na ngayon. O at least meron na kayong something na sisimulan. So hindi nyo lang siya sinulat ngayon, bagkus, ang lalim, bagkus datapwat, kailangan nyo siyang simulan ngayong gabi. May AI na. All you have to do is just prepare and take some time to learn. Okay? Sabi daw dito, you don't need 100 services. You need 3 irresistible offers that solve real problems. Ay, maganda isa, nag-controller. Gusto ko yan. Ayan. Tax, ayan, payroll. Yan, madami naman dyan. Napaka-niche ng tax tsaka payroll. So, something na ilo-look forward nyo. Pero syempre, mag-client muna tayo. So, ayan, meron ditong tanong. Sige nga, maglagay kayo ng 3 irresistible offer to solve problems. Yeah. Aside from that, sa niche focus is, dagdag ko na lang before ibalik ko kay Joe yung floor is, ang kailangan ng mga client ngayon is advisory driven. CFO role, not just compliance based. They want some higher level of expertise and knowledge. Sabi ko nga sa inyo, kaya nga tinuturuan namin kayo mag-communicate. Ang mataas na bayad ngayon is CFO role, which is strategic in your minds ang binabayaran. And of course, AI. Okay? So much for that. May natutunan ba from the start? O gusto niyo ulitin ko? Wala naman. Patay po naman kung may nagets sa mga sinabi ni Miss Yan before I proceed to go back yung floor kay Joe. Ang hirap talaga mag-English. Okay. Number 1. Okay. Sige. May screenshot yun na lang ulit yun later on. I can share some PDF file later on if you will stay. Okay. So, I'll go back the floor to Joe. Back to you, Joe.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, Marianne. I didn't understand most of what you said, but I had the slides to guide me. But I know that what you share is real and very, very valuable. And so we're at about 8:15 now. I want to thank you all for staying this long. And I just want to share something with you. For people that stay the length, tonight at the end of this program, I'm gonna provide a really unbelievable offer. That's for tonight. If you show up on Thursday, we have another special free offer. I can't get into exactly what it is, but it's something that even if it's not for you, it might be for people that you know. Okay. Also, if you show up on Thursday, Marianne is going to have an offer for you for our own personal coaching program, which I know is unbelievable. She's helped hundreds, if not thousands, of people already with her coaching. I've already mentioned that I've had a coach. I've always had mentors. There was always somebody out there that was guiding me. Okay. You have to, if you really want to be successful today, you have to reach out to people that know stuff that you don't know. Okay. It used to be, asking for help was a sign of weakness. It's not like that. Okay. Asking for help is actually a sign of strength. It's you saying, "Hey, I've taken this as far as I can. I need somebody to push me over the top." Okay. And that's what Marianne can do for you. And I've seen her do it for years now. Uh, so that being said, we only have a few more slides to go. Again, I want to thank you all for staying this long. And what I want to do in a couple of minutes is introduce you to what the US accounting market is really like. Because I could tell you, based on the feedback I've gotten from my team members, that US accounting is a lot easier than accounting in the Philippines. Okay. In fact, a couple of years ago, I put out there to my team. I said, "Why don't we start getting local clients? There's a lot of businesses in the Philippines that need help," and they shot me down right away. They didn't want to do accounting for Philippine businesses. So that's just a small snippet of what it's like working for U.S. accountants, U.S. businesses. And also let me share with you, I focus on very small businesses. Our clients are usually one owner, not complicated, but that's my niche. Okay, Marianne was talking about niches. I found a niche of small business owners that start out and have absolutely no idea what they're doing. They usually don't hire accountants, and when I found that niche, that's when I decided to start Bedrock. And that's when my mother decided to retire because she didn't want to learn, new programs and new systems and all of that. Uh, but there's tons and tons of opportunities in other areas. Like Marianne was talking about e-commerce. E-commerce is huge in the United States. In the United States, we have something called sales tax. We don't have VAT. Sales tax is the most complicated tax on the planet. So, and anybody doing e-commerce is 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 most likely subject to sales tax. So if you want to pick a niche, if I was just starting out, I would probably start out with e-commerce because sales tax is so complicated and people, like I said, even my mother is on Etsy. Okay, she makes her own stuff, she sells it. I just bought two Christmas ornaments from her. They're subject to sales tax, but Etsy is taking care of all that. But if they didn't have me to tell them what the rules were, they would have been stuck trying to figure it out on AI or on Google. Uh, so there's a lot of niches, but the kind of people that we work with, there's really only four different types of entities. And it really comes down to this: sole proprietors. That's what the bulk of businesses are in the US. There's, hold on one second. When I found that niche, what I found out was there were 28 million sole proprietors out there. And being a sole proprietor is absolutely the worst way you can do business. So when we get somebody that's a sole proprietor, we convert them. We convert them into a corporation. Then you have LLCs. A lot of people that are sole proprietors think that LLCs are going to save them, that it's going to help them in their business. Well, all an LLC accomplishes is legal protection. It doesn't do anything for them on their taxes. So they've been misinformed. So if they shouldn't be a sole proprietor or an LLC, what does that leave? The only choice is a corporation. Okay, so a corporation gives them legal protection and it gives them tax benefits. Okay, which I'm not going to get into. I have a whole bunch of courses on that. So now, depending on their tax situation, if they're making money, they want to be an S corporation. So a lot of confusion in the United States starts with, how should I do business? Should I be an LLC? Should I be a partnership? And this is how I've done it for 40 years. I didn't just make this up. It's 99.9% of the time they want to be an S Corp. Now you can ask Luz, Rona, Myrna, anybody that's done a US tax return. An S Corp return is probably the easiest tax return for these kinds of businesses that you will ever see. And that's why I picked this market. I said, oh my God, I could teach anybody how to do an S Corp return. It's easier, believe it or not, than doing an individual return. And that's how we make money. That in a nutshell, our clients are all simple bookkeeping, accounting throughout the year. At the end of the year, I mean, we have, Marianne was talking about our onboarding. We have systems for everything. So we could produce a lot of tax returns for these kinds of businesses. So if you're looking at, oh my God, I want to be a US accountant, but it's too complicated. It's really not that complicated. It's not even close to being as complicated as doing taxes in the Philippines. Believe me, I know firsthand because when I first moved here, I decided, and you're going to think this is funny, Grace. I see you. Uh, I said, "Oh, I want to have a Philippine corporation so that I could take care of my employees. I was going to give them benefits." It cost me a fortune. Okay. It took a long time. I don't even want to tell you how long it took. It cost me a lot of money. I was paying fees for stuff like I was like, what do you mean I need to pay a fee for a document fee? Like what? I stopped asking. I just told Liz, I said, just take care of it. And then in the end, I mean, I had to rent a virtual office. They had to take pictures of the fire extinguisher. It was like, I will never set up another Philippine corporation unless yeah, you think it's funny too, right, Marina? But it was painful. It was painful. Uh, it's not like that in the US. It's a lot easier to start a business, uh, almost to, yeah, it's almost too easy because people start businesses every day and run into problems. Uh, so this is how it works. Everything for these business owners that I'm talking about, and so there's 33 million businesses and counting in the US, US based entities. The bulk of them, 28 million, are sole proprietors that have no idea what they're doing. And all of them need a tax return done. Their biggest fear, anybody in the US, their biggest fear is the IRS. Okay. They don't want to get, and believe me, I have clients that have been with me for years. They still get anxiety when they get a letter from the IRS. They don't want to hear from the IRS. They want somebody to cover them. So everything we do basically is about getting that tax return done and protecting them. Okay. And the way we do that is very simple. We do their bookkeeping. We don't do monthly closings, we do quarterly. So every quarter, we close their books, we send them a financial report, we encourage them to meet with us. Very few of them do. Okay. Right now, it's the end of the year. I've met with any clients that actually want to. So, this is the strange thing about American business owners. They want to be in business, but they don't want to spend any time on their business, if it makes sense. Okay. Very few of them want to, spend time planning, strategizing, even though, it's part of our fee. They get unlimited access to me and their accounting team. Uh, so now it's December. Most of our clients should have their books all done through November. We know exactly how much they've made or how much they've lost. We know what their tax returns are going to look like, and that keeps them happy. Because in the end, the way they look at us is Joe is protecting me from the IRS. It's as simple as that. Okay. I know in the Philippines people are afraid of the BIR, and they should be. I've heard stories, I've talked to accountants. I mean, but the US is nothing like that. Okay. You don't have to like ask clients for receipts. In fact, we don't want their receipts. We have no use for them. We don't have to verify anything. If they tell us it's a business expense, it's going on their tax return. Because in the end, we're not responsible. Now, I know if you're a CPA in the Philippines, you are responsible. The BIR they'll penalize you or whatever they do. And I was like, that's crazy. And that's why you have to basically audit your clients. It's not like that in the US. The only time we ask people for receipts is if they buy a building, if they buy a car, if there's some kind of like capital purchase that we have to, actually depreciate. We'll have to set up a loan amortization schedule. So it's really, as simple as it gets. Uh, accuracy is important, obviously. So again, from time to time, we'll come across clients that want us to bend the rules, basically break the law, turn the other cheek. I don't do that. Okay, my CPA, how to become a US CPA, cover that. There's ethics involved. Right. So for every client where I sign their tax return, because I'm electronically signing all of them, I'm making sure that it passed the the Joe test. Okay. So, and I'll tell all my clients, because if they do everything we ask them to, okay, if they run, so in other words, they're going to have a bank account, a credit card account, and only run their business expenses through there. From time to time, they'll run expenses that aren't business, but we identify them. So they're not going to get a business write-off for it. But it makes it clean, it makes it simple, and it works. Okay. Some of the software that we teach, that it would definitely benefit you if don't stick to one software. Learn multiple softwares, because when I look out there at what people are looking for, there's all different kinds of software. It used to be QuickBooks. Do you know QuickBooks? That was like the 800-pound gorilla. There weren't that many other programs out there. Today, especially with AI, there's tons of them. Somebody was rattling off programs I never even heard of before. These are the most common ones. QuickBooks Online, uh, probably one of the worst programs that was ever created, but a lot of people use it. Okay. QuickBooks Online, you should know Zero is the program that we use. We actually went from well, when I started Bedrock, we started with Wave. So Wave is a very good free program for startup businesses. We outgrew that and we went to QuickBooks Online. And it was the first time I ever used QuickBooks Online for my own business. That lasted about 6 months. When I started teaching Philippine accountants, a lot of them were using Zero. I never heard of Zero before. So now that's the program that we use. I just put together a program on Zoho Books. That's another good one. But there's a lot of other ones out there that small businesses are using. MYOB has been around a long time. There's FreshBooks, but any software that you could learn and put on your resume, your LinkedIn profile, and Marianne will talk to you about this more on Thursday, is only going to help you. Okay. Another thing you want to have, and I didn't cover it here, you want to have AI on there. You want to be an expert in ChatGPT. You want to be an expert in Gemini. Uh, if you don't, you're going to be uh, behind the people that are learning it. And I'll tell you the truth. That this is what I told my team when I started learning about how AI worked. A lot of companies out there are, oh, I'll get AI to do this stuff, and I won't need, my graphic designer. I won't need this. No, what I taught them, I said, you're all going to learn this so you can produce 10 times more than you were producing before. And it's working. Okay. That's what you want to be able to tell a potential employer, a potential client, listen, I know how to use AI to help you improve your business. Okay. Because as of right now, AI is still like a mystery to most people. They don't know how to do a prompt. And to learn it isn't really that difficult. Believe it or not, you can use AI to teach yourself AI. Okay. You go to ChatGPT and just say, hey, act as if you're an expert in teaching people ChatGPT and just give me a basic rundown on how I could learn this. And it'll give you the points. And then you just follow the points. Okay. What I've been telling people, this ignition, I've never even heard of it, but it's a program out there. Like I said, the amount of programs out there is really endless. What you should do once you decide what kind of accountant you want to be, what kind of freelancer you want to be, if you want to be a remote worker, if you want to have multiple clients, okay, go out there and find out what programs is that industry using. Okay, so for instance, if you're going to be in the e-commerce niche, you might want to learn Shopify. That's one of the courses we're putting together now. It's a huge program. We broke it down into 10 different courses. Okay, because I don't do big courses anymore. What we did was we just break them down into smaller courses to make them digestible. Okay. Another thing that we started doing after COVID is we encourage all of our clients to go on the IRS website and create a personal account and a business account. This way they can actually download all the records that the IRS has instead of relying on the IRS to tell them, because believe it or not, you really can't rely on the IRS anymore for anything. Okay, we saw that one. Okay, so that's the end of the this part of the workshop. And now what I want to do is, and that's not going to work, so I'm going to do it another way. I'm going to give you a landing page. I'm going to show you what this offer is. Maria just gave me. So Maria, can you help me out here? I don't have my Go High Level thing up. Can you give me the link?
Yeah, sure. I'll send it through the chat.
Okay.
And don't leave, guys. We will have a photo op. Ito yung favorite part nyo, alam ko. So, for those na hindi pa naka-open ng camera, might as well open your camera. This is your chance to shine. And then, para ma-remember na agad namin kayo as early as now because we do have a lot of free webinars coming para sa inyo. We have another session on Thursday. Don't miss kasi kung marami nag-register eh. Pero of course, normally yan naman talaga. Hindi lahat nag-show up. And doon sa mga questions kanina, you can reach out to us, to me, kung ano yung mga questions, internship, program, hiring, course to be launched. And ayan, may special offer. I will make it in Tagalog para mas maintindihan nyo. Tama ba? So, this one is a special offer for those because Christmas na. So, Joe decided to give this kind of special offer. If you can see, there's 4 course worth 14,000. So, now it's only, hulaan nyo kung magkano lang. Ngayong gabi, if you will take this course, 1,499, 1,500. Pero kapag until Friday, that's 1,999. Correct me if I'm wrong, Joe. But tonight, 1,499. Until Friday, 199. You get all the courses of Joe DiChara. And then on Thursday, we'll have another session. I'll give you an overview, of course, on how to build your own agency and accounting firm, not only as a freelancer, para, again, something na ilo-look forward nyo soon. Okay? The link is, andyan na. Ang hirap mag-English. The link is nandyan na.
Yeah, I don't even see the link, but let me just, in a nutshell, explain what all of these are. So you're getting four courses, four courses for one price. Okay, we bundled this specifically for this workshop for you. All of these courses were designed specifically for Philippine accountants. So our first course, we called it, it was the 13-week course, and now we actually we turned the course into a book. It's on Amazon. You don't have to buy the book. It's part of the course. You get the whole book. That alone, that was the course that people paid us $197 for when we first did it. So now we make all of our courses evergreen. And so it's self-paced. You do get a certification for that course, and it's soup to nuts from bookkeeping to solving tax problems. That's the first course. The second course is the AI powered accountant. Okay, so I did that when I first started learning about how powerful AI was. So I created a course. Now, in that course, not only are you going to get the the nuts and bolts of how to like optimize your LinkedIn profile, how to tweak your resume and cover letter, all powered with AI. You're gonna get the links to the actual AI agents that I created, and I guarantee you this will up your job search in ways that you would have never. It's going to decrease the amount of time. It's going to enlighten you about how people actually hire you. Okay. I think with that, between that course and what Marianne is going to teach you with her coaching, you're guaranteed. If you follow that and you don't get a job, come and see me, and we'll figure it out. Uh, the the next course is what we started when we started teaching freelance. It's called Jumpstart Your Freelance Accounting Career. And again, that's going to take you, if you want to be a freelancer, to an agency owner and everything in between. We talk about, your website, social media, hiring people, everything that you could think of when it comes to running an agency. The last one, which I just finished today, is how to become a US CPA. Okay. And again, like I said before, all you got to do is say, I'm a CPA candidate, and the you're far and away up ahead of a lot of other people. Okay. You don't even have to apply yet. Now, I'm not saying to lie. If you honestly want to become a US CPA, then go for it. It might take you 10 years. I know people who took them 15 years to actually get their CPA certificate. So, what we're offering you tonight and through Friday is all four of those courses for only 1,999 pesos. Okay. If you buy them tonight, you're going to get another 500 off. So, if you log on tomorrow, it's going to be 1,999. If you buy them tonight, it's 1,499. Okay. I can't think of a better deal that I could put together for all of you. I'm not going to give it away. I'm practically am giving it away. Also, all of my students, any of our students, uh, get access to me. If you ever have a question about the courses, your career, all you got to do is book a chat with me. So again, I want to thank all of you. There's 123 of you still here. Thank you all for sticking this out. I hope that you learned something tonight. I want to thank my team and also thank you, Coach Yan Yan, for being a friend, for being a partner, and for contributing. You have anything you want to share with everyone?
Yeah, I'm reading some questions. Maybe Luz also can help. There's a lot of questions. You will receive, for, of course, a follow-up email after this. But again, please reach out to us if you have further questions on FB group community. And of course, we would like to say thank you for being here. Ayan. May tanong sila, Luz. Is this self-face? Is this something self-face, Joe, or live session, a mix of live and self-face?
Maria,
Is
What do
this
you mean?
is
this
this
is
live session or
self this is a self-paced course, but Ellen, Maria, is there a limit or deadline when they can finish the course?
I could answer that.
Okay.
So what we decided, you gotta, if you want a certificate, and you can only get a certificate with the secret sauce course. The other three, there's no certificate because it's really self-improvement. The secret sauce course, you can get a certificate. You got to complete that within a year. But the other all the courses you're going to get lifetime access to. Okay. We have a lot of other courses. We have how to prepare U.S. taxes. We have a payroll course, sales tax, which if you purchase those, you can get a certificate. But again, once you start any course, you have a year to finish it, which I think a year is more than enough time if you want to
Yeah.
get the, and the certificates hold a lot of weight, believe it or not. Uh, it's great to have on your uh you should all, and Marianne will talk about this, you should all have like when artists, web designers, they put together a portfolio. Accountants should have a portfolio too. Okay, you should have it with all your certificates, all your trainings. uh it holds a lot of weight. Again, it's something that most accountants don't do. And think about it, you want to rise above the rest of them. So if you do things like Marianne told you and what she's going to teach you, like doing the Loom video, doing the oh no, wait, you talked about that last night. I don't want to give away all your secrets. But I hope that that answered your question. Okay.
And then, Joe, one more thing, because by next year, I think May or June, we will be having new sets of interns. So I suggest if you will take the course today, before the opening of our internship program, at least you already finished the course. The purpose of this course is for you to have at least a overview before you start working with us. And Joe, I did not inform you about this, but we're planning that even though they already finished the self-paced course, we still need to let them do the project so we can filter those who are really serious with being a U.S. tax preparer. Because mostly there are some BEDA course graduate, but when they start working, it's not that uh, that our expectation uh they were not able to meet. But if they do the project, we can monitor who really do their project every day, or they finish their project faster. So from that mere uh, what do you call this, yung parang dun pala test na namin kung okay silang katrabaho or hindi. So we have additional filter, Joe, to get the
Yeah,
interns. Yeah.
so I get, yeah, so Luz likes to make decisions without telling me, but that's okay. Uh, so Alex asked if it's and it was in Tagalog, but I think it's
lifetime access? Yeah.
lifetime access to the course. If you bought a course, you can access it uh, as long as there's an internet.
Lapastanganin
Okay.
niyo daw. Yan, yung
And
word namin.
and yeah, I didn't mention our intern program, but that's become very, very popular and powerful. It gives, and we started it once we started having so many students. People started asking if we hired interns, and it's been a real blessing for us. Myrna was an intern, uh, and we just because you get real life experience. Okay. But what Luz was saying, because, we have a lot of courses and we would limit, the internship to courses. What we decided was if you want to be an intern, you have to take the secret sauce course. Okay. Because that course has a real life project in it. So you're going to get a client with their real set of books. You're going to have to do accounting for 3 months. You're going to have to close the books, make journal entries, then do their business return and do their personal return. Okay. So if you become an intern, we don't have to train you from scratch. Does that make sense to everyone? Did I cover that right, Liz?
Yeah, because it's hard to train someone who will zero knowledge with all the software, and we're always in a hurry. And then there's one more question, Joe. Like, if we help our interns to get their clients, actually, we're not referring clients, but the mere fact that you finish our internship and you take our course, from the previous interns, there's Christina Joe. There's a previous intern. She just finished a week or 2 weeks after her program. She has one full-time client and two side gig. But she did not resign yet to her corpo because she wants to get her Christmas bonus first. So she will resign until December for corporate, and then she has a US full-time, and I think Canadian account and Australian account.
Yeah. So somebody asked how long is the it's 6 months, right, Liz?
Yeah, 6 months.
So every 6 months we hire a new batch of interns. But here's the thing, I think somebody asked if we're going to help you get clients. Not directly, not directly. But once you see how we operate, and you're going to get that real life experience, you're going to become more confident. And Marianne, that's the key, right? Marianne will teach you when you go in an interview, they want to see somebody that's confident. That's what US business owners want. They don't want, listen, a US business owner doesn't want to hire an employee. They want to hire somebody that's smarter than them, that's going to show them what to do. That doesn't mean you got to be smarter than them, like show them, hey, I'm smarter than you. Smarter than them in a way that, hey, did you ever, and that's what Luz does with me. She learned how to like really manipulate me because she's so nice. And she doesn't say, hey, Joe, we should do it this way. She'll say, Joe, with that nice Philippine voice, Joe, did you ever think maybe we can do it this way? So she asked me like it's my idea. That's what you want to learn how to do. Okay. So yeah, we're not going to help you directly, but I could tell you, Lou's talked about one person, but I know there's a ton of former interns and students. My favorite testimonial is from Annie. I don't know if we ran it, but Annie was an OFW. Uh, she left her family. She decided to quit because she was suffering from depression and anxiety. And she came home and she talks about she prayed to God, and then she came home and she found Marianne's group. And that's when we was first doing our courses. And she took our course, and what really warms my heart is that what she said, and we didn't even ask her to do this. She just did this video for us. She said before the course was even over, She got a job paying more than what her OFW job was paying her. And it wasn't because she learned from the course, but what I think the common denominator that all of our students say is that they got confidence. Okay. They got confidence because they believe that they can do it. Okay. So if I can give anything to any of you, it's uh, the confidence that, listen, Luz did it. She had no, am I right, Luz? You didn't have any accounting experience.
No, no. I don't
Yeah.
know the bookkeeping, but I know the basic during
Yeah,
college.
so Luz had an accounting degree, but she spent how many, like 18 years with your former employer?
Yeah, more on operations like handling people, dealing with government compliance, but technically the bookkeeping using Wave App or any, I don't have idea.
So she literally started from scratch, and I couldn't run Bedrock without her.
And
Now she's
then
going to ask me for a raise.
ano, and maybe one of their struggle, Joe, because when you look at the Upwork and then onlinejob.ph, there are lots of requirements. If you'll be overwhelmed with the requirements, you'll not apply anymore because you're not confident. But what I did during my time, I just submit. It's up to them if they'll interview me, fine. If not, it's okay. They did not know me personally, but every time I click, I close my eyes because it's shameful that I'm applying, even though I think even one or two, I'm not really qualified. But three of them invited me. So actually, it doesn't matter if your CPA, if how many certificates you finish, but taking course or researching, it gives you confidence. Confidence when you interview. At the end of the day, it's your confidence and just the courage to start and not to stop.
Yes. Listen, I can guarantee all of you that you're still here. If you decide that you want to go on this journey, I will do everything in my power to help you get your career off the ground. If it's to become a CPA, if it's to get clients, uh, I give all of my students unlimited access to me. Not too many of them take advantage of it. Okay. Probably because they think that I'm too busy. Okay. Yeah, I'm busy, but if you ever want to get something done, ask somebody that's too busy. Okay. Larry Broughton, my coach, my friend, my mentor, was running a $200 million hotel empire. Okay. And when he agreed to be my coach, I said, how do you even have the time to talk to me? And his response was, he said, Joe, I see a lot of untapped potential. In other words, I wasn't living up to my God-given talents. And I told him, I said, I'll show you. I'll show you what I can do. Uh, but the guy always had time for me. Some of the most successful people I ever met gave me their time for no money. And I always wondered, why are they doing this? And the reason's simple. Somebody did it for them. And that's why I offer it to anybody, any one of my students. That's what I'm here for. That's why I do this. This is not my main business. It's not Marianne's main business. Okay. We're both here for the same reason, and that's to help all of you. When I taught my mother, like I said, it did something for her that I never expected. It empowered her. It changed her life. Okay. And Larry is a saying, live a life of significance. Okay. It's not what you do, it's who can you help. Okay. I've done a lot of things in my life, in my career that I'm proud of. Uh, I got to tell you, the last 5 years have been the most proud because of all the people that I've been able to teach, the team I've been able to build, and I could tell you that the best is yet to come. It just keeps getting better, right, Joe Mel? Yeah. So I'm waiting for you, Joe Mel, to tell me when you're going to apply for the CPA exam.
Maybe
All right. Do we
2000.
have any other questions?
There's a lot, but we could, again, you could connect sa akin. Ang hirap mag-English sa akin sa LinkedIn. Ayan ang aking LinkedIn. If you have further questions in behalf of Bedrock, again, thank you so much. And for those who attend, alam ko nagugutom na kayo. O yung iba dyan, maligo na. Hindi pa naliligo. But we have another session on Thursday. We'll have our photo up. I will post this in social media, sa LinkedIn especially, para hindi nyo ma-miss out. So again, follow me on LinkedIn para if you have question, you can message me directly for those internship. And I'll show you on Thursday on how to really land a client. I'll give you a snapshot of my certificate from Bedrock since 2022, and from this time na nag-start ako ng certification from Bedrock, ito na yung nag-start talaga ng, kasi bihira talaga yung may certification ng tax course. I still use this for my application. If nakita nyo, August 2023, and I have the certification, I still kept on my application way back 2022 pa. So more than 3 years na siya. And then tututuro ko sa inyo how I land clients through LinkedIn, through, ayan, kanina napag-usapan yung e-commerce. So, yan talaga yung niche ko. And then I put those certification which helped me a lot on conquering the US market. So for those of you nagtatanong anong mabe-benefit nyo for having that certification, magiging halimaw lang naman kayo magka-client. Yun lang yung mapapangako ko. Alam ng iba yan na nandito. Sino dito naging mentis ko na halimaw na? Ay, nawala na si Sheila. Alam ng iba yan, di ba, Jomel? Halimaw. Halimaw sa banga. Yan. So again, let's have a photo op. Favorite part. Kanina 138 tayo. So labas-labas na dyan. Alam ko ito yung pinaka-favorite nyo eh. Aminin. Okay. Nakadoble karak dito pala sa kabila. Sige. Okay, let's have a photo up. 1, 2, 3. Teka lang ha. Saan na siya? Wait, wait, wait. Ako ang nawala. Teka lang. Nag-over. Ay lang nawala. Wait lang. Dalawa kasi. Sinong techie dyan? Din naman, napaghalata hindi techie. Nag-iba kasi yung ano ko. Ayan, 1. Ulit. Ayun, nakita ka na. 1, 2, 3. Ayan, 1 more. Nasa 5 state pa tayo. Kapit lang. Huwag niyong bitawan yung ngiting nyo. 1, 2, 3. Yan, humabot si Giovanni. Okay. Si Grace, tawa ng tawa. Gusto na mag-asawa nyon. Si Miss Pinky din, tawa ng tawa. 1, 2, 3. Ay, gusto ko si Sanyel. O, di ba may moon doon? Ano ba yung moon? Mars? Nasang Earth ka ba? Yan. Okay, last 3, 4. Iba wala nang, pero may pangalan kayo para ma-monitor namin kayo, ha? Okay. Again, thank you so much and looking forward tayo sa Thursday. Sino atan sa Thursday? 7 p.m. same link. Wala nang maliligaw. Open namin ng 6:45. Okay, thank you so much, guys. Thank you, Joe. Thanks,
Okay.
Bedrock. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. God bless. We'll see
Good
you all on
night.
Thursday.
Coach,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anong problema? Wala sa akin yung kaldero, Ben. Saan?
Saan po magbabayad?
Ay, i-upload tayo. Sige, wag mo na kayo umalis. Natabunan ata.
Pa-share naman, Coach, sa accounting peoples po.
Sige. Tapos PM nyo ako. Nasaan na siya? Natabunan. Teka lang ha. Ikukunin ko yung link. Teka lang. Isi-save ko yung link. Sino po nakakuha ng link? Pa-repost nga po. Natabunan. Hindi. May sisend sa inyo sa email. Nag-attend kayo ng email. Makikita nyo sa email.
Okay po. Sige po, Coach.
Okay, matutulog. Hanggang din yung natatanggap. Hindi, charot lang.
Thank you po, Coach.
Sana, natabunan siya eh. Pwede po pa-up ulit. Ayun, nakita ko na. Teka. Ayan, before we leave. Wala na si Joe? Tagalog na to? Wala na? Wala na. Okay. Pwede na kayo magsalita. Sige, kung may tanong pa kayo. May question ba kayo?
Wala na po. Thank you,
Wala naman.
Coach.
Okay, sige. Thank you so much and see you on Thursday. Thanks, Lay. Hindi sa kanila nakita ko yung mga ibang ano. Hi, Maria. Thank you and Bedrock. Ano, Grace? Di ka pa bibitaw? Yeah, bumitaw na siya. Spinky.
Miss
Oh,
yan
yun
niya.
yung umalis. Yes.
Coach, okay ba yun, Coach?
Ang alin? Yung course? Ang
Opo.
dami nun. Dati nung time namin walang ganyan. Lahat na. Sa
Sige.
Thursday naman yung coaching session ko kasi iba naman yun. Pero this one, jump pack na yun. Kasi dati nga kami, magkano yung course na dati? $197 that time. Eh, nagtrabaho po, hindi ko pala nakwento, nagtrabaho ako sa Bedrock ha, na isang buwan. Baka hindi nyo lang po alam. So, doon talaga ako nagkaroon ng idea sa Drake, although hindi ako masigasig na mag-aaral at isang empleyado. Hindi po ako ginawaran ng best in employee ni Joe. But for that reason po talaga, nagkaroon ako ng idea answering US questions sa client. So, ganun siya nakatulong sa akin. Lalo na kapag sinabi niyong, do you have any US tax experience? I don't have, but actually I enrolled in one of the course and I have a certificate that gives me at least an experience and idea on how to file US tax. And the good thing, meron kayong masasandalan. Unlike before, wala kayong mapagtatanungan. Tama, Jomel? So, yun yung pagkakaiba nung wala talagang background at may masasandalan. Sandal ka lang, be. Ganon. Sandal ka lang, be. Pero wag niyo ako pagtanungan ng US tax. Hindi kasi ako masyado. Alam ko lang yung mga basic. Yung mga W2, 1099, 401, tama, 1045, 1120S. Yun, yung mga ganon lang. Basic. Pero hindi ako ganon ka-expert. But ang nakita nyo dun kanina, ayan, bigyan ko yan ng konting overview. Meron akong client ngayon na magpa-file ng tax. Normally, ang kailangan lang talaga namin is maayos na books. FS. Di ba ang step, monthly bookkeeping, FS, and then tax filing. So, lahat naman tayong problema tax even sa Pilipinas eh. So again, ulitin ko, kaya kailangan yung masolve yung pinaka main pain points ng kahit sinong kausap yung business owner's tax. Pag nalaman nyo paano gawin ng isang tax ng tao, Pilipinas man yan, US, Australia, you have an edge. Magagaling na kayo in your own way, tama ba? Pero nangangailangan lang ng skills na makaka-adapt kayo sa US market. Yung mga sinabi ko, ay, hindi kayo umalis, may bibigay ako sa inyo. Sige, dahil nandito kayo, nakalimutan ko ibigay kanina, ito. Yung sinabi ko kaninang shortcut.
Ma'am, yan question.
Yeah. Wag mata. Game. Ano po yan?
Question. Nagbayad na kasi ako actually and magse-send ba ng ano ng create an account dun sa ano sa courses na yan kasi na-receive ko na yung
Yes.
ano yung receipt. Normally kasi pagka may in-enroll ako parang pinagki-create na rin ako ng account ganyan para may password or something ganun.
Alam ko bibigyan na kayo ng access. Itatanong ko rin sa Bedrock ano yung timing nila after that, yung sa ilang oras ba, mamaya meron na. Pero normally meron tapos bibigyan kayo ng access. Okay, ito yung
Okay, sige.
shortcut ko kaninang list ng para alam nyo lang. Nakalimutan ko ibigay pero since nandito kayo, ayan na. So mga naiwan at malambing pa sa akin, yan ang nakukuha ng pagiging malambing. Ayan na po. Para may idea kayo kung ano yung mga gagawa nyo. Pwede po kahit hindi accountant, pero ang importante talaga guys, magkaroon kayo ng same language as the business owner ng US. Diba? Parang diba pag kumakausap ka, accountant, nagkakaintindi na sa depreciation, sa accrual, prepaid, diba? Same with language sa US. Kapag nasasabi mo yung mga problema nila, yung mga tax, how to solve tax, yung process sa pagsosolve ng tax o pagpa-file, you will get hired regardless kung hindi ka pa experience. Tama. Yun naman yung sa coaching session ko. Oh, and ayan si Sheila, alam ng anak ko yan, isa sa mga halimo na nagka-client. Dumaon sa coaching ko yan. May tinuturo akong approach how to get clients. Kasama, nagko-compound, na kasi yung mga knowledge, certificate, yung turo ko sa coaching, paano ang approach, paano ang atake, i-apply nyo na lang and then you will get clients. By the way, I'm also agency owner. Recently, ang daming pumapasok na hiring. Again, payroll, alam ni Lay, nandiyan si Lay. Local hiring, ang dami din. Hindi ko na alam kung ano pa gagawin ko.